Hey everyone, Vlad here with a console-specific Smite patch notes review. This is going to be patch 4.5, Celestial Voyage, so let's jump right into it. Console updates, specific to console, there is or spectator mode is enabled for both platforms, for PS4 and Xbox. They fixed a couple issues with the God leaderboards. It was implementing the ranks like while you're scrolling down, and so it's not going to do that anymore. Team booster icons are now displayed under the player who activated them, so when you do it, like the whole team, or it'll just show who did it. A couple known issues, so that means they're current or right now on the patch. Relics and consumable button callouts aren't displayed on certain button layouts, and the Ultimate God Pack button is visible in the God page. So if you go to the God page, it now has like a little square for it. But if you purchase it, it won't be there. But it's still bugged. There's a pretty awesome Poseidon visual update. So go check that out. He looks super awesome. With that, they redid his recolors, the London Conspiracy, and his Mastery skin. So they all look pretty sick. Make sure you check them out. There's a new event coming out with this patch. So with that, there's several new skins. There's a Star Lancer on her, a Star Tamer Bastet, Star Eater Kepri, which I'm definitely getting that one. It looks pretty sick. A Star Strike Neath. And I remember in the patch notes, her ult actually specifically looked pretty amazing. It's like completely celestialed out, and where there's a ton of stars around and whatnot. It looks pretty cool. Starscribe Thoth, which is going to be finally a Thoth skin, and it looks pretty good. And the Bastet got her mastery updates. So moving on to the Celestial Voyage event, the layout's kind of confusing, I guess, like along with most of the high-res Smite events that come out. So the 4 skins that you can purchase, or you can only purchase, so those are all exclusive. The On Her, Bastet, Kepri, and Me skins are all exclusive. If you don't know what exclusive means, that means that they're available now for purchase, and they will be available in the future periodically through events and chests. But the Thoth skin is limited. So limited means this is going to be the only time that it's available. So if you're interested in that skin, make sure you get it now, or you won't be able to get it in the future. And then a couple bonus rewards with this event are the loading frame, pedestal, music theme, and they're implementing a new feature, which I guess is the community has been requesting a lot, which is the background loading screen. So instead of just having your little borders in the loading screen, you'll now have an actual like background theme for that. And this is the first one that they're implementing, and it looks pretty cool. If you're interested in space and astronomy, it's a pretty sweet looking backgrounds with stars and whatnot. So that's it for that event. Oh, well, I mean, to go into it a little bit, it's a little confusing. You have to, so to get the Thoth skin, or to get any of the skins, the On Her, Bastet, or Kepri, or Neath, you do have to purchase them. I think they're 400 gems, and then you have to purchase all 4 of those to unlock the Thoth skin. So, I mean, it's kind of sucks that you have to buy to get any of these. But, I mean, High Res has been super generous with the recent past events. There's been a lot of free content. This one, you do have to pay for those. But you can win the loading frames, I believe, or the bonus rewards, loading frame, background, pedestal, and the music theme, just through playing. Moving on to the achievements, a couple for Chrononos, pigging out as Chrononos kill 1 enemy while they're polymorphed, and as Chrononos kill 1 person who is currently afflicted by Autumn Decay while Chrononos is in different stance. Okay, so miscellaneous. All items, gods, abilities, and relics should now properly follow slow stacks. So if you didn't know, as far as slow rules and stacking goes, items, whichever item you have that applies slow, whichever one applies the greatest slow is the one that will take priority over all the other ones. So Poison Star, for instance, gives a 20% slow, and Frostbound gives a 30%. So if both of those effects are on one god, the strongest slow, which is the Frostbound, will take priority. With that, god abilities should all stack with all other slows. So god slows and relic slows will still apply, but item slows will not stack. And relics should behave like god abilities and should stack over all slows from any source. relics cannot stack. So if two people have the new what is it, curse? I think the slow one. If two people get those, it'll only apply the slow once. So moving on to updated list of items. So this is just a list of items that when your allies purchase, it'll pop up in the chat. So things like Magic Shell, Phantom, Frenzy, it'll just let you know that your allies bought them. Clan banning. So if you're in a clan and somebody's being really douchey or whatnot, you can now clan them if you're the clan leader. So I guess a little bit more of incentive not to be a douche, but I mean otherwise you should just overall just try to be a positive person anyway. And they also fixed an issue where golden experience earned while dead would not count towards the team golden experience in the combat log. Moving on to item changes. So in the patch notes it shows a change on Flickering Ritual, but they have actually completely removed rituals. So Frenzied Ritual, Flickering, the Revealing, and I think there was one other, the Teleport to an Ally. So all of those have completely been removed from the game. There was a radio cast about where Ajax and Pompon went on and talked about it a little bit, and they put a message out on Reddit that they felt like when they released them, they did exactly what they wanted to. They created that item that was between the late game and basically like end game, where all you have to purchase is your 500 pot or your 3k pot. They wanted to fill that void, and they feel like they did that successfully, but there were certain aspects of them, especially at high level play and in the pro league, that those would be easily abused or change, with the possibility of changing an outcome in one favor and not the other. And so there's just little intricacies that they're taking them out completely for now, reevaluating, and we'll see what happens in the future. Hydra's Lament got a cost increase, so Hydra's Lament is the second tier, so it got an increase from 1,000 to 1,200, but the tier 3 still remained the same. Mantle of Discord got a cooldown reduction. It's not really that big of a nerf as far as cooldown reduction, because it was one of those weird items that have like a 2250 or just a weird numbered stat. So for cooldown, you kind of want your 10s and your 20s. That way you can work on your goal is to get around that 40% and not worry about overcapping. So now that's at 10%, you don't have to worry about that 5% overcap or whatnot. But it also did get a decrease in cost from 3,100 to 2,900, so that's kind of nice. Mark of the Vanguard's getting a bit of a nerf. I believe in the beginning of Season 3, it had the health either increased or added, and it made it a really popular item in Season 3 and into Season 4. So they are bringing that down a little bit. It is still 100 health, so if you get that as a starter item at the beginning of the game, it is still super useful. 100 health, that's 2 autos or several autos from minions, and that's the big thing, is that Mark of the Vanguard decreases that damage, or physical damage. So towards minions, it can be really helpful in the early game. Masamune got a bit of a change, so the protections provided by each stack is going from 5 to 7. Masamune is kind of this, cool, interesting hybrid item. So the amount of enemies you have around you gain protections. But 5 it didn't seem that impactful, so they're bumping that up to 7. Relic stack changes. This was just a bit of a bug where your tier 1 of Cursed would stack with the tier 2 of Cursed. So that's just a small bug fix. Greater Sprint, which is the tier 2, I think, will not. Greater Sprint will now always provide the basic attack penalty removal, even if the speed buff is removed from the target. So basically, tier 2 of Sprint will give you a Fatalis effect. Now, so all that's doing is that if your movement speed has been removed for whatever reason, it's been countered, you'll still get the Fatalis effect. Rod of Asclepius and Rod of Healing, previously it was bugged, they used to stack, and that's been fixed. Enchanted Spear, which is the tier 2 of Spear of the Magus, and another one, is the cost of it's just being reduced. Again, that was just one of those weird, 1450. There's no reason for that 50 gold, so it's just dropping down from 1450 to 1400. And Spear of the Magus and Divine Ruin are remaining the same. Spear of Desolation's getting a gold decrease, which is nice. It's a super powerful item. It's got a bit of cooldown and pen, so it's going down from 2800 to 2600. Spear of the Magus is getting actually a really good buff for mages that can apply those stacks, apply all of those stacks effectively. Someone like Poseidon. So instead of that only going up to 3 stacks, it's now going up to 5. So you'll get even more penetration for gods like Poseidon who can apply all of those stacks. Soul Trap, which is the tier 2 of Book of Thoth and Soul Reaver, is getting a gold decrease, but the other two are still remaining the same, so that's going to be from 1600 to 1400. Aphrodite Kiss, they just fixed an issue where a target being kissed twice would get a permanent speed boost. Ares is getting an interesting buff to his shackles, which are his chains. It's now going to do more damage to minions. So the problem with Ares in the early game is that most of the time you had to get his flames because that was the only thing that would clear. Well, now you can kind of weigh your options and possibly get your shackles first. Still dealing extra damage to the minions, but also using it to possibly zone the enemy. Chrononos is getting a few stats reduced. His release was pretty strong, so his base power is getting reduced from 40 to 37. And his the base power of the Shifters of Season is getting decreased from 40 to 37. And one of the things that I think had a really big impact on like his zoning, which was his Bramble Blast, which is also his clear. So you shoot out the projectile and it breaks out and it can root you if it hits you, and then it slows in the rest of the area. Well, that slow's getting removed, which I think will be really nice. Hercules has been really strong in Season 4, so they're just giving him a bit of a nerf, which I'm always all for Hercules nerfs. I mean, even before Season 4, he was always just one of the warriors that are just really annoying to go up against. And since Season 4 and the buffs, that we've seen a lot more of them. So his mitigate wounds, his heal, is just getting an increased cooldown from 15 seconds to 17 seconds. Jingwei, I think, so she's getting a bit of a... some love. She's getting some love. Throughout Season 4, she was really strong, especially on release, and when people got to really utilize the Fatalis effect that she used to have on her dash. And since they removed that, she fell off a lot because they basically nerfed her when she had her mobility and then removed her mobility, but never compensated for it. So she's getting a base increase on her health and her movement speed, as well as getting a decreased cooldown on her explosive bolts. So I'm not sure, it's not meta changing, but I think it could allow to see her a little bit more. Her passive is still super unique and allows her to get to lane really fast. So we'll see what that does to her. Nemesis is just getting a small change where she can use abilities and basic attacks in between her first and second dash. Her second dash still goes on cooldown after 2 seconds. So now you can dash once and use an ability or basic attack and then dash again I think it's within 2 seconds. Morgan fixed an issue where the client were not taking end of match lobby, so just small bugs. And fixed an issue where the Morgan's basic attacks would still fire when transformed into a different god. Thoth is getting a bit of a change. Big complaint of his is, and it's obviously really annoying in gameplay when he's just charging and canceling his ult, So you just hear this loud yell, and you have to either look at or try to back up a little bit or use your Aegis or whatever it is. So to punish him a little bit for that, they're just giving him a he has to pay 30 mana to do that basically. Vamana got updated ability icons, and the last change is Zhong Kui. He's getting Expose Evil, should now deal 75% of remaining scaling damage in addition to base damage it was already dealing. So that was it. That's just a follow-up on his change that he got last patch. So overall, not a lot of changes. The Smite Masters and the Gauntlet are coming up this weekend and then the following weekend. So there haven't been. So they're trying not to do too much of major changes. to keep everything in line for the pros and what's going to be going on, the big events that'll be going on in the coming weeks. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.